안녕하세요, 나미입니다. Hi everyone, it's Nami, and today I wanted to talk about how I met BTS for virtually nothing. BTS has only come to Toronto once. The one time they came with TCM Entertainment, and if you guys had been following all of that drama, there was a lot of drama surrounding the whole TCM Entertainment event scheduling and all of this nonsense. A lot of people say that they're a scam because they don't fulfill, keep accountable or stay transparent with their customers. But because this video is not so much about TCM Entertainment but more about BTS, let us talk about BTS. I met BTS and I did take a photo with them and I did high touch with them. This was back in 2015. I remember in August I saw somewhere that BTS was going to be coming to Toronto, and I checked, but they were sold out of tickets. It was gonna be like a really small concert. They said it was gonna be more of like a fashion show slash fan meeting, which it wasn't. They did say that it was gonna be less singing or performing and more with interactions with the fans, and the artists would come on and show like some new fashion or whatever. It was a collaboration with some clothing company. I don't even remember what it was. So I did hear that they might resell tickets, and I was waiting and waiting for their reselling. I was following, their Twitter, Facebooks, and everything, and trying to see when they were going to sell tickets again. The way that they were selling tickets was by selling t-shirts, and the t-shirt would be sent to you, and then you would come to the concert with the t-shirt, and then the t-shirt would then be your entry pass. And so that's how they set things up, and there was no actual physical ticket, and every person was to get a high touch. So when they resold tickets, they actually sold the t-shirt and the entry, no high touch included. I believe the t-shirts entry passes were $70 US, but they did resell the resale tickets with no high touch included for $50 each. And I bought 2 tickets, one for myself and one for my sister-in-law. They also had extra photo op, and they were sold out of their VIP. So I got a photo op just because I felt like this is my first concert ever that I'm going to ever, and I'm seeing BTS, which is a group that you guys know that I love. So, I just wanted to go big or go home, and the photo op was $50. So I get the tickets, and it's kind of impossible because tickets sold out in like 5 minutes. As I mentioned, this was my first concert ever, and it was actually the last concert that I had ever been to as well. So it was the only concert I've been to. I can't say it was either good or bad because I don't have any concert experience to compare it to, but I did feel myself that it was lacking in both a concert and a fan meeting. It was nothing that TGM said it was gonna be, but I was pretty content and satisfied with my experience just because I did get a huge discount and I got to see them in such a small theater, so close to them. I got to do high touch with them and I was like in front of their faces. I also got a spot right behind the VIP ticket holders who were let in first before everyone else, so I was pretty close to the stage. I did also briefly chat with some of the autograph holders, and they saw BTS and BTS signed for them, but then they said it was a bad experience because they were being pushed and rushed and they didn't even get to interact with BTS at all, and BTS looked very uncomfortable and very scared of all of these scary Western security people yelling at BTS, telling them to stop interacting with their fans. It was just a huge money-making thing. It was just really dumb. So yeah, if you want to see all of that, you can Google TGM BTS drama. But yes, they were all on the stage, and literally they were so close to me. If I had my arm outstretched, their bodies were a little bit bigger than my hands, and so that is, a pretty good view of them. But the opening was very long. The opening was this artist from, I don't even remember what state he was from. He's a rapper and he had so many songs. No one was really excited, which I felt bad for him. He was kind of saying, "Are you ready for BTS?" just to get people excited because they weren't excited for his songs. I'm sure there was a number of people who actually appreciated his music, but most of us were, actually all of us were there for BTS. So that rapper performed 5 opening songs, and then finally BTS were supposed to come on stage, but there was technical issues and literally we were standing there for like 10 minutes because they couldn't get the screen to work. That was like a really long delay. But finally No came on and BTS came on and they did their set list, and obviously everyone is going crazy and screaming, "No! No, don't do this to me, Jimin!" After No, they all stood in line and they did an introduction of themselves in English, and they talked about like Canada and the land and the food. They thanked us for having them here, and while they were saying thank you, I held up my "Thank you Bangtan Boys" sign, and Jin, Rapman, Suga, Jungkook, and Jimin all looked at the sign at different times. Like they were focused on the sign and trying to read it kind of because it was in English, approximately for like 5 seconds each. And 2 or 3 of them, I don't remember who, but 2 or 3 of them actually looked down at me and made eye contact with me while I was holding the sign, because I guess they wanted to see like who was holding the sign or whatever. And like actually I think like I already died there. Then they did 2 more songs and then they disappeared. Screen that, you know, was broken and they fixed. That screen said like, do you want to see more? Do you want BTS to come back? And then obviously everyone's screaming because literally they performed 3 songs. So they came back and they performed the 4th song. This was just before their Run album came out, but High Touch was after that, and it was really fast because I guess they just wanted to whiz through. They, as in TGM Entertainment, not BTS, they just wanted to whiz through as many people as they could. It was just their money-making business, and they didn't care about the fans. They didn't care about BTS. They were yelling at the fans and they were yelling at BTS and shoving people, and in the States it was a lot worse. BTS did say that Canada was their best experience for the whole tour, because the whole tour people were getting shoved, people were bleeding. It was just not pretty, but in Toronto I guess it was pretty civil. I was really sad though because High Touch was really short. I literally got like 5 seconds with them all. Can you imagine? There's 7 members and I got 5 seconds in total. Do you feel me? Do you? Do you? But backtracking a bit, I did mention that I had a ticket with no High Touch, but I got High Touch because I got a photo op. My entry bracelet was the photo op bracelet, and so therefore they couldn't tell that I didn't have the High Touch because all the no High Touch bracelets were black, and so they just didn't let people with black in. I also got my sister-in-law to get High Touch as well because I asked the people to give her a chaperone bracelet because I needed to take care of her since she's a minor, and so she had a white entry bracelet. Honestly, it was kind of sketchy of me to do all this, but I didn't feel bad because Toronto was the last stop and I was reading about all this craziness that was going on in the States, and I honestly didn't care for the company. I just wanted to see BTS and see them the best way that I could, even though it wasn't the best way that anyone could have ever, you know, fully experienced, but it was still one of my important memories. During the High Touch, the staff told us don't hold their hands, just high five lightly and move on really quickly. Don't even talk to them, don't look at them, don't breathe, don't do anything. I remember going through the door and they were standing there and I see Rapmon first. When you just walk through that door and they're like right in front of you and they're so beautiful, you're just like, oh my god, oh my god. Literally their faces were so beautiful, and it was crazy seeing them like in front of me in person because they were like, they looked human. It was so weird. Ramon was first and he was smiling, but he looked really tired. I can understand why, and I felt really bad for him. He just looked really tired. He was smiling with his mouth, but his eyes were just really tired. I felt like I didn't want to burden them, and so I just like, I don't know, maybe it was my innate Korean nature or something. I didn't even say hi. I didn't even say, oh my god, I love you. I didn't even say like, whoa, you're so beautiful. I literally just like kind of half bowed and worded like 안녕하세요, kind of, obviously inaudibly, but I did that for every single member. After Rapmon was Suga, and he looked even more tired than Rapmon. He looked actually like plain downright angry. I know that he was really angry about how the staff was treating the fans, how the staff was treating BTS in the previous tour locations as well. So that obviously didn't help with his happy mood. Then there was Jungkook and Jin, which I briefly, you know, just literally like half seconds each and I don't even honestly remember seeing J-Hope because he was somewhere in the middle and it was just all so fast. I think honestly we didn't even make eye contact. Jimin was last, and because he was last I had eye contact with him the longest. Don't do this to me. You all know I'm married. You all know that I love Michael and we good, but when it comes to K-pop idols, you know, they are art. They are produced by companies and they are created to be like, to seem perfect. And so with celebrities, sometimes you just have these feels. So yes, we had eye contact for about 4 seconds straight. I think he kind of knew I was Korean. Maybe that's why he was looking at me for longer. And I remember feeling like the whole time during the whole concert I was thinking, is anyone gonna notice my baby bump? Because I think I was in my second trimester. I was actually in my second trimester of being pregnant with Zeke. And if some of you are new to my channel and don't know who Zeke is, he is my second son. Right now he's a year old. And so I was thinking the whole time, like, are they going to notice that I'm pregnant? Like, is anyone gonna notice that I'm pregnant here at this BTS concert with like pounding music? But I don't think anyone noticed. Back to the Jimin story. He smiled at me. I think he was like the only one who kind of genuinely smiled at me while I was turning slowly to leave. He kept looking at me and smiling. It felt like, you know, those dramatic letting go of the hands, but it felt like that with the eyes, like honestly, something that I really regret is not saying anything to them. I wanted to say to them that I'm really glad that they were able to come to Toronto. I hope that they enjoyed their time, and I know it was tiring for them, and I wish that, you know, they can rest up well in Korean. But like 4 seconds with 7 members, no, that's not possible to say those kind of things to them, especially when the staff are rushing you and you're feeling really pressured and BTS looks very uncomfortable and everyone is just uncomfortable. And also on top of that, I was like uber nervous, and so I didn't get to say anything, unfortunately. I really regret that. I wish I could have just held on to Jimin's hand and said 수고 너무 많이 했어요. Like, at least that much would have been okay. Guys, their hands were so soft. They were softer than butter. Their hands were like, it felt like I was touching Galahad's butt. That's how soft it was. Like, it was like so, their hands were so, I was like, I swore that they went to a nail salon right before, because their hands, man. Plus their comeback music video just got released. Did you guys watch it? If you haven't, I did a react video. I'll put it right here if you guys want to watch that. But oh my goodness. And on Sunday there's gonna be another one. Contain. Zeke, I gotta contain myself. Zeke. No touching. No touching. No. Oh. Zeke, no touching. Thank you. Good boy. Good listening. Well done. Good job, Zeke. But anyway, high touch was over, and then everyone else who was waiting for a photo op was waiting, and my sister-in-law actually had to wait outside of the concert hall because they didn't want anyone else in the building without the photo op bracelet. I kind of wanted to try this strategy where I could spend the longest time with them, and so I went last. I'm so sorry, Heaven. I made you wait so long, which was really dumb of me, because if I go in the room last, then everyone else is waiting and standing and waiting and they have a chance to talk to BTS, but I literally get in there, sit at the front, take the photo, and then have to leave. So that was really dumb of me. Like, past Nami, what were you thinking? You were just like, no, never again. But I think if you are doing a photo op, the strategy that you should use is to try to go first in a group of people. That way you get to line up and stand with your K-pop idol and chat a little bit while everyone else is filing in and positioning to take the photo. I obviously was dumb and did the opposite. I went last, and so I got like no time to talk to them during the high touch and the photo op, which the photo op was quite disappointing as well, because it was 25 people per photo op, and they honestly had so much time. The staff had so much time. They could have made it at least 10 people each, but they made it 25 people, and people paid $50 for the photo. That is definitely not nothing, and they they just jammed all the people. It was like a big class photo, hurried us out like sheep and herded us like sheep, which I can understand they have to do because a lot of us are sheep, admit it. So we did take the photo, and I was literally so far from them and in the front row kneeling with my pregnant belly, and I had signs, but I wanted to ask them to hold the sign with me. But because stupid old Nami went in the room last, obviously I didn't get a chance to ask them to hold the sign for me. So I just got another girl to hold the sign. And I did want to tell them 많이 힘들었죠. 이 투어랑 토론토로 와주셔서 너무 감사하고 많이 수고했어요. I wanted to say all that, but I couldn't because they were so far from me, and you know, it was just craziness, and I was just really dumb. And right after they took the really badly taken, badly lit, everyone was angry photos, the girls immediately like turned around and wanted to talk to them, and the staff started to herd us out. While we were walking away, I turned around and I kind of inside, but I fully inside instead of like my half wimpy insides when we were doing high touch. People were still looking back, so I looked back too, and I actually made eye contact with Jimin again. V was doing the squiggly arms saying bye wave. Everyone else was waving their hands saying bye, and I didn't get to say all that I wanted to say, so I just yelled 수고했어요. And then as I was yelling that, Jimin made eye contact with me the third time, and then he waved at me with both hands like this, but you can't see and my fat is jiggling. He waved at me with both hands like this, like smiling, like big smile on his face. And then I gave a final goodbye bow, like a big one, just to Jimin. And honestly, that was just like coming out natural, just like out of my Korean instinctuals. And so we left the venue, and that was that. Honestly, I think it could have been a way better experience, but at the same time, I did get a high touch for myself and for my sister-in-law. Even though the whole experience of the concert was not that great, and there was no fashion show thing, there was no fan meeting thing, there were no interactions allowed, I still can't complain because I got to meet BTS, and Jimin waved directly to me with two hands in the air and a big smile on his face. I think that was the day that I was like, okay, it's Jimin. Because before that I was like watching their dance practice videos 24/7 for months and months and months and months, and I couldn't decide between Jimin or Jungkook because they were both really good at dancing, and that's what I was watching for in their dance practice videos. I couldn't even see their faces. It was just pure skill. And if some of you guys are wondering, my favorites are Jimin and V. They are both also born in the same year that I was, so we are 동갑. And I always think it's interesting how they are born the same year as me, but they are living a completely different life. Obviously, they're celebrities and they have to train more than 8 hours a day. They have a packed schedule doing interviews and photo shoots and craziness. And on the other side, I'm a mother of 2 and teaching makeup at a beauty college and making YouTube videos. It's just really interesting to see how people who are just people, you know, they just live totally different lives and make totally different choices and have totally different skill sets. It's just really cool to me. A lot of you are probably wondering by now, what does she mean by free? Yes, I kind of met them for virtually no money because I asked for a refund. The transactions were through PayPal, and PayPal has a great refund or buyer protection policy, and so if you don't get what you paid for, PayPal always automatically refund your money if they cannot deliver. And the item that I did purchase were not concert tickets, they were t-shirts. We left the venue with no t-shirts because the whole entire event and concert and like their plans were so disorganized. Yes, we didn't get t-shirts, and so I used that as a kind of foothold to tell PayPal that I paid for a t-shirt, I did not get a t-shirt, and therefore please refund me my money. So my $110, which was $55 ticket for me and $55 ticket for my sister-in-law, were refunded. And because the photo op was so terrible, my experience was not like totally like, guys, BTS was in front of me and I couldn't even talk to them. Like, who feels me? Okay, you can hate me, but Like, honestly, if you have that opportunity in front of you, I was so happy, but if I could have made it the best that it could have been, I would have been even more, you know, satisfied. But I will say that I won't complain because I got a refund and I did get to see them. So disclaimer, I'm not complaining, but I'm just upset with myself for creating the worst situations, being able to interact with them at all. The photo op again was $50, and so I requested $35 since I did get a really poor digital copy of the photograph, which I look pretty crazy in. I just decided maybe it's worth $15, that whole experience, and taking a photo with BTS. I don't want to take all of TGM's money, but I will ask for a refund of $35 for the photo op, and so PayPal refunded me that as well. The net cost that came out of my pocket was $15, that whole thing. I honestly can't complain because I saw BTS and I was decently satisfied. It was the only concert that I've been to, so I don't have any like terrible or amazing experiences that I can compare to. It was just what it was, and I fully am grateful for what it was, even though I wish that it could have been better. I'm happy enough with Jimin waving his hands in the air, both hands in the air, smiling at me with a huge smile. If I get a chance to see BTS again, I will definitely jump at the opportunity and also try to make the most out of what it could be. I think that applies for all situations. I think definitely you should try to make the most out of every opportunity. It doesn't mean that you're being greedy. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're being selfish. Of course, it could be if you're disrespecting yourself or disrespecting people around you. But if you are trying to experience something the best way for yourself and the people around you as well, definitely do your best to try to make it the best experience. There were some cases of some girls who were jumping at V and suddenly hugging him, and it just made him really uncomfortable. That's basically like sexual harassment, and in court it qualifies the same degree as rape. So yeah, you shouldn't do that. I wouldn't call that, you know, making the best opportunity you could make it, because that's crime. But things that, you know, are not of that kind of nature, I definitely would encourage you to do the best that you can, even in your studies, even in your workplace or family situations or just life in general. Definitely think of what you could do to make the situation better and to, you know, do the best you can. And sometimes, you know, you'll be nervous like I was, and sometimes you won't be able to do a good job, but don't worry, take that as a learning experience, because I sure did. The next time I see them, I'm not going to be the same, hopefully. Fingers crossed. You might mess up in your presentation, you might mess up your promposal, you might mess up your proposal. Don't worry, life is life, and we live and we learn, so definitely live and learn. We're all just living, and so therefore we should all be learning together. So let's continue doing that. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, definitely subscribe down below if you would like to see more content from me. I post 2 to 3 videos a week, so definitely hit that bell so that you are notified for my new uploads. And I do want to encourage you not to subscribe if you don't plan to watch my videos. Like this video if you did like it, and if you didn't, dislike it and tell me why. If you have any other content suggestions, let me know, as that would be of great help to me. I do have an Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat, so if you do use those platforms, check me out on those as well. And I am pretty happy with the overall experience of the concert. I mean, it wasn't like it was in the States, I can say that much. So that's it for this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Today's featured comment is from Diora. She says, "This look on you is super beautiful." Thank you so much, Diora. I honestly think it's 100% practice, 100% practice, hands down. Anyone can do this look, anyone can do any look, as long as you practice and as long as you want to get better. When I first did my makeup, it was a mess. I didn't even know what to do with my face. I think anyone can do anything they want as long as they put their effort in, you work hard for it, you practice, do what you love, and you are confident with it. Thank you for watching, Diora, and I love you. I'll see you next time.